Now, what do I do about the downtime? How do I itemize that for you?
We pay $150 per day that the truck is in the shop.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on my way to pick up this load. It's a blind shipment, so not going to really talk much about it. Not that I don't think it really would probably be that big of a deal, but you know how blind shipments go. So yeah, this isn't exactly a very good news, happy video. It's not like it's terrible or anything, but yeah, last night at the truck stop, LEVI took a hit. Not major, but it's gonna need some new parts. Yeah, I was sitting there in the sleeper. Hang on. I was sitting there in the sleeper. I was actually editing yesterday's video. And, well, I heard somebody honk their horn. I was at the Taze Valley TA, there in Hurricane, West Virginia. And I was in the back in the sleeper, and I heard somebody honk their horn. And, you hear that all the time at truck stops, and whenever you do hear it, you become really alert because you're like, well, crap, what if someone's about to back into me and somebody else is warning them? Well, that was my case. That was what happened. Somebody across the way saw it happening, and he started honking his horn. The guy didn't stop and backed right into me. He didn't hit it hard, but it bent the bumper, slightly bent and creased the fender, which kind of caused the fender, you'll see a picture or whatever, it kind of caused the fender to bow out on the edge. He shoved the headlights into the fender and dented the fender behind the headlights. The headlight housing itself is floppy and loose. I think the bracket is broken. It's not unusable, but it's just not tight anymore. Yeah, luckily he didn't hit the tire, so no worry about a bent tie rod or anything. So, the truck's still perfectly drivable. But it's just kind of aggravating, This truck, I take a lot of pride in this truck, and like I said, the damage is not it's not terrible. I'm sure that people when their property gets damaged, the owner of the property is a little bit more critical of damage. They're a little bit more, apt to see the damage is worse than it really is. And I'm sure I was in that boat. But yeah, it was, it's just, it's one of those things, it's like you just can't have anything nice anymore. So, it was a Covenant / Land Air driver that backed into me, and I don't know if he tried to make a run for it or if he was trying to dodge it. But as soon as he felt the impact, he pulled away, and he didn't even keep trying to back into that spot. He went several spots down and then backed into a spot. But thankfully I saw him once I heard that horn honk and I felt the impact. It's not like I was asleep or anything, so I was able to jump up, and I saw him try to leave and go over there, and maybe he really was just trying to find an easier spot to back into. I don't know. But as soon as I, saw him pulling away, I grabbed my phone and jumped out, and I started taking pictures of the truck and the trailer and everything as he was pulling away, just in case. I ran up beside him and took pictures of the truck number and DOT number and all that stuff. I ran in front of him and stopped him, and then ran around the side of him to the driver's side. And then that's when he admitted, that's when he said, "Oh, did I hit you?" "Yeah, bud. You kind of effed up my truck a little bit." That's what I told him. I'm like, "Yeah, you effed up my bumper." Because at that time, I'd only seen the bumper damage. Luckily, the bumper is not shoved in enough. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to steer the truck without pulling the bumper out. But the bumper is not shoved in that far. So he was like, "Well, let me get this parked and I'll walk over there to you." I'm like, "All right." So I stayed there and made sure he parked, and then I walked back to the truck. And he eventually came over and was talking to me, and and one thing that really pisses me off in situations like that is when you're clearly at fault and you try to make excuses that have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. And one of the excuses he gave me was like, "Oh man, it's been one of those days, buddy. It's just been one of those days, man." And I looked at him, I said, "That doesn't give you the right to tear up somebody else's equipment." And he's like, "Oh no, yeah, you're right about that, you're right." And then he starts talking about how the oversized mirror on the truck on the other side of that spot he tried backing into, how it stuck out farther than the factory mirror. And he was like, "Yeah, I was watching that mirror, so I didn't hit that mirror, and I guess I wasn't paying attention to your side, to your truck." And I'm like, "Apparently you weren't paying attention to my truck." And and then he tries to, he could tell I was pretty mad. I wasn't being an asshole to him necessarily. I was being very stern and short. But then he starts saying, "Well, hey man, at least I didn't run away on you like some of these drivers would. I parked and came over here." And I told him, I said, "Yeah, well," I said, "that was debatable up until I saw you backing into that spot." I said, "I wasn't sure if you were running or not." I said, "I ran after you taking pictures, just in case." And he was like, "Oh, you did?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." He's like, "Oh, okay." So then we got on the phone with their claims department at Covenant / Land. I guess Land Air bought Covenant. It said Land Air on the truck and all that and whatnot. But so we got on the phone with his claims, and with somebody there who took the claim. And the problem is, though, the actual claims department doesn't open up. Oh, my phone switched. The actual claims department does not open up until 8 a.m. this morning. But she gave me a claim number and a phone number for that department. But I guess they're going to call me, and if they don't, I'll definitely call them. But yeah, they I don't know. I'm not sure if Land Air is self-insured or not. Sorry, I'm blonde. I can't do two things at one time, like shift and talk. Anyway. So yeah, that was pretty much what happened. So now I have to go through the hassle of just getting everything done. And that's what I told him. I hate when people are careless, and I told him, we shook hands at the end of the encounter. So I kept it as amicable as I could. But like I told him, what bothers me the most about a situation like this, because the time it's going to take me to get the parts and have them have new parts put on, and have the new fender painted to match, and have to go find the paint code, and just the hassle of everything now. And kind of made me mad too, I wanted to have an official third-party witness. So I know the police cannot issue legal ramifications like a citation or an at-fault kind of thing on private property. I know that. But I've also had police come out and at least document it so that, you know, insurance, so that there's something for the insurance. Just so that he can't renege on what he said, or they can't flip their story somehow. So I called the police department, and I just wanted to ask if they could come out and witness it and write down some, you know, document the note, you know, some notes. And they refused. They said, "Sir, we can't come out to private property and assist in that, you know, on, you know, for on private property like that." And I said, "Well, I know you can't issue a legal citation or anything like that. I'm like, I just want somebody to come out here and be an official witness so that he can't flip his story later." I said, "There's well over $5,000 damage to my truck that needs repaired now." And I said, what if he or his company somehow flipped the story?" And she just kept saying, "Sir, we can't come out there, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "So you're saying it's just my word against his now? It's he said, she said." And she just kind of was silent on the phone for a second, and she goes, "Sir, we just can't come out there and help." And I'm like, "Well, I thank you for nothing then." Then I hung up. So, you know, I get the police are busy. I get they're busy doing more important things. But she didn't tell me that they didn't have an available officer. She said that they just don't do that. So that really pissed me off. So I really hope that things go well and that, you know, that he doesn't flip around and... Which I'm pretty sure that the phone line that we were on with his company was a recorded line. So I don't think that he can. But if, you know, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I mean, they're a big enough company that damage to my truck it's not gonna make or break a company like that. So it shouldn't matter. But yeah, now I have to, you know, I'm not sure. I might have to call Ohio Truck Sales where I bought the truck because, well, as a lot of people like to say, they paint their trucks. They paint their trucks, and this truck was no exception. They aren't the greatest at painting, but if I'm going to get a fender and I want it to match, I'm going to want to get the exact paint code. So I'm going to have to see if I can call them and see if they can tell me the paint code that they used. You know, so, or I mean, hell, you know, I might even just have the fender shipped there and have them paint the fender there. I don't know. A friend of mine told me that they actually install fenders and things there, so maybe I'll just take the truck there and have them do it. But first I want to talk to my shop and see if they can source the parts and maybe see what they recommend for painting. I don't think my shop does body work necessarily, but it's not really body work. The fenders are removable. All they have to do is paint it, but that's the painting, I guess, is technically kind of like the body work. So I don't know if they can do that or not. I don't know. Like I said, it might need a new headlight housing. I don't know if it does or not. Surprisingly, the headlights themselves did not break. I don't know how they didn't break, but they didn't. But yeah, anyways, you know, I'll go ahead and put up here the video I took of the truck yesterday after it happened and everything, and some pictures. And yeah, here it is. Well, guys, I was editing this video because I thought it was done, but as I was editing the video, somebody backs into my truck. Yeah, you got the You got the bumper right here. He broke this whole headlight housing, or at least where it's bolted in. Shove the headlight housing back into the bumper or the fender. You can see the scrape marks right there. Put a dent in the fender. We did that, and it creased the fender. Yeah. I think that's about the only thing, but that's a lot. Yep. Bent right here to there. Yeah. From, yeah, right here to here. I hate truck stops anymore. People don't know how to freaking back carefully. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call that safety department, well, the claims department, and wouldn't mind having it on recording on my end, so we'll just see what they say. Hope they gave me the right number. I double checked and triple checked the number with them.
We're unable to complete your call. To speak to a customer service representative, please hang up and dial *611.
See if I can find their actual number. Forgot the driver gave me the number. All right, let's call that number. He gave me a different number. Well, let's call it.
Hello. Thank you for calling Covenant Transportation Group's Driver Services line. Calls are recorded. If you have a medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you have a trucking emergency, please say emergency now. Otherwise, if you are a Covenant driver, please tell me your driver number now, or say not a current driver.
Not a current driver.
Okay, not a problem. How can I assist you today?
Claims for an accident.
Please hold while I transfer you to IRC Emergency. Remember, safety equals know before you navigate. Driver support.
Yeah, this is Corey Carnes. I'm a driver with PDP Trucking and owner-operator. I had an incident with one of your drivers yesterday. He had backed into my truck at a truck stop in Hurricane, West Virginia. And we exchanged information on the spot, and we were talking to somebody at the company, and they gave me a claims number, and they gave me a phone number to call for claims to talk to them today about it. But when I call that number, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right, so it's only been a day. It probably has not been assigned an insurance adjuster. What state did this happen in?
In West Virginia.
But we will check it out and see.
I mean, how long should I? They told me to call first thing in the morning.
We'll
So
see. It might have been assigned one, but we'll just have to check and see. And if not, I would give it a couple more days.
a couple days. Well, this. Oh,
Okay, it's been assigned.
okay.
We can't really control when our insurance adjusters get assigned to these. So
Right.
if it wasn't, you would have to give it a couple days. That's how this works.
Mm. So if
I know it can be frustrating at times.
I'm lucky because my truck is still technically operable, but that means for a driver that their truck is rendered inoperable because of one of your driver's mistakes. They're, especially an owner operator like me, they're out there at that.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, you don't care.
So
Okay.
you'll be talking to Roland Chapman, and I'll give you his phone number when you're ready.
Let me get it out here. And his name's Roland?
Alrighty, I'm Roland, yes sir.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'm transferring you to him now.
All right. That's ridiculous. Wonderful customer support.
Claims is rolling.
Hi, Roland. This is Corey Carnes. I was involved in an incident with one of your drivers last night where he backed into my truck at a truck stop, and just wanted to...
Do you have a claim number?
I do. The claim number...
So we made contact with your vehicle
Yes.
in West Virginia?
Yes. In Hurricane.
Okay, so basically what I need is for you to take it to a repair shop that you like, and then send me the itemized invoice for the and photos. Let me see if there's photos here.
I think your driver took photos. I've got photos also.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, he smashed up... I'm sorry?
Is it the bumper or...
It's the bumper and the fender and possibly the headlight housing.
Okay. Yeah, just take it to a repair shop that you like, and then send me an itemized invoice for the repairs to your property.
Okay. Now what do I'm sorry, go ahead.
You send it to my email address.
Okay. Hang on one second.
And please include that claim number that you gave me. And what's a good email address for you?
Mine is Corey Carnes. First name is Khori. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my personal email. My business email is Carnes, CARN as in Nancy, ES, Family Express at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. I will send you an email with the information from this incident, and then if you'll just respond to that with the invoice, we'll be able to take care of it for you.
Now, what do I do about the downtime? How do I itemize that for you?
We pay $150 per day that the truck is in the shop.
That's not really acceptable. I make $1,500 a day on average.
So we pay what the for a rental, for what the rental. So basically, what it would cost for you to go rent a truck.
I can't rent a truck like this for $150 a day.
Well, then what you can do is you could go to a rental shop and ask them how much it would cost to rent a truck. Well, what we would do is we would pay to rent a vehicle for how many days your truck is in the shop.
Okay.
So once I get the invoice for the repairs to your vehicle, I'll see how many days your truck is in the shop, and then we would figure out the downtime according to that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
If you can send me an invoice showing how much it costs to rent a vehicle, we would go by that.
Okay. I don't really personally find that an acceptable way to do it. I feel like it should be the downtime. Like I said, I'm an owner operator, so I average anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a day, and there's not necessarily a whole lot of places in my area to rent a truck like this. Maybe day cabs, but I need more than a day cab. I'm an over-the-road driver, so I don't really see how that computes very fairly. It obviously benefits you more than me, even though I'm the one that was hit. So I'm not really sure how that makes a whole lot of sense. I was figuring on doing it by, like I said, downtime, not rental of a truck that I may not be able to acquire.
So let's just get your truck to an estimate for your truck, and then we can figure out the loss of use. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll send you the email with my information, and then if you'll just take it to a shop that you like, and get that invoice, and then we'll figure out the downtime after that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right. I'll keep you in touch.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
There you have it, guys. I'm going to call my shop. I don't know that they do, I think I was talking about it earlier, I don't know that they do paint work, but I know they can get the parts in. Yeah, this is, you know, usually, see, I feel like they're self-insured, because they must be, the way that they are operating with this, they must be self-insured. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is Covenant self-insured? I don't know, but I think it's pretty unacceptable to only pay me a rental of a truck. I don't even know where I can get, you know, most places that I know of, I don't think anybody's going to lease a sleeper truck to me unless I have multiple, like a fleet of trucks, you know, like Ryder or any of those programs. I think you've got to have like a minimum of 5 trucks in your fleet for them to even consider leasing one to you. I don't know about temporarily, but it was kind of asinine to imagine I could get a truck like this for $150 a day. That's not even, I rented a truck one time from Keith's, from where I get my truck worked on, because every now and again they'll have spare trucks and they can rent them out. And that was like, I had that truck for one day, and it cost me with mileage like $700. I mean, it was something like that, 500. It was something astronomical, way more than $150. I don't know where they're getting this $150 figure to rent a truck, especially like a sleeper truck. That's not computable. That doesn't make sense. So I got a feeling I'm going to have a fight on my hands on that one. But hey, maybe I'll get a bumper with chicken lights on it now. Thanks, Covenant. No, I don't know. This is I knew it was going to be tough, but I got a feeling it's going to be a pain in the butt. The rest of it seemed fair enough. Take the truck into the shop, get an estimate, all that stuff. But still, that's downtime, you know? That's more downtime while the truck's in the shop. I don't know how long it'll take to get an estimate. It shouldn't take long. I'll call my company. They can probably give me an estimate on at least the parts, but they won't be able to give me an invoice yet because I'm not in the flesh. And unless they can write one up and send it to me on email. So I don't know. This is what I hate the most about things like this, is when you get hit, is the time it takes. I don't want to say to recover from it, but just to make things right. You know, the downtime. And the thing is with the fender, with having to replace the fender, I've got a feeling, I mean, nothing's really hard to replace, physically speaking. I don't know how hard it's going to be to find the parts, but, you know, the fenders detach, they come off, the bumper detaches easily enough, but it's going to be the painting of the fender, how long it takes for the paint to cure, things like that. I mean, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be at least, I'd imagine it's going to be at least down 3 days. Which isn't terrible, but it's still 3 days I wasn't expecting to have to worry about. So I'm going to call my shop now and see what we can do for parts, I guess. I'll come back on in a minute and let you guys know. Well, I went ahead and called my shop, and they're sourcing the parts right now, and they're going to see what they're going to make up an invoice, not make up an invoice, they're going to create an invoice, and they're going to email it to me, and then I'm going to email it to the claims department, and try to get what I need for the truck. Yeah, we'll just have to see. What I'm hoping is that, like I said earlier, the truck is in perfectly drivable condition, so I'm lucky the truck's able to keep driving down the road. I didn't really like how the attitude from some of those, from the guy was okay, the Randall guy was okay, but that first girl, just, I don't know. I get it, it's not her job to give a damn, you know, about these situations, but when she was telling me that, you know, what they do, and I was trying to say something about, you know, so if my truck was incapable of operating at the moment because of your driver, and she just spoke over me, like, you know, just showed a complete lack of regard. Just didn't give two craps about it. You know, while you know, this is what I do to make a living, and it very frustrating. Very frustrating. You know, you could, you know. Anyway, I'm sidetracked. I'm off in the weeds a little bit. I went ahead and, you know, like I said, I told the shop what I need, and I got the paint code. See, this truck was painted at Ohio Truck Sales, and so I got the paint code from the dealership, and I sent that to my shop also. The shop outsources the painting, but they can get the parts. And yeah, so it's kind of what I'm hoping for is that they can just paint the fender before they put it on the truck, and that way the fender can, you know, the paint can cure and do what it needs to do, and all that stuff, and then they can just take everything off and put everything back on, you know, hopefully within a day, because it, you know, all it is a bumper, a fender, and the headlight housing. Because what it is the studs for the headlight housing are broken, and that's why the headlight is loose and flopping around. So it, you know, it does need a new headlight housing. And I, you know, and it's just one of those things where I want this done right, you know. I didn't back up into somebody else. He backed up into me. And then when, you know, when I was talking to the guy on there about downtime, if for some reason the truck is down for several days for this issue, and he tried to tell me that they only pay $150 a day for downtime, like he's a broker and I'm just waiting for layover or something like that because a load didn't line up right. Give me a break. And his justification for their $150 a day reimbursement, you know, for downtime, his justification to that was that that's what it costs to rent a truck. Show me where I can get a sleeper truck that's $150 a day, plus including in that $150 the mileage pay. Because when you rent a truck, you're not only renting it for the day, but you're being charged per mile. Like I said, I think I mentioned it, you know, a long time ago when the transmission went out in that Cascadia that I had, and I had to have it towed, I rented a truck from Keith's to finish my delivery. I didn't even have it for a week. I just had it to finish my delivery, which was only like 150 miles. And then, you know, whatever, like 70 miles back to the yard from there. So I had it for only like an afternoon. And it was something like $500, somewhere in that ballpark, 5 or 6. It was expensive, maybe $700. It was up there. It was definitely not $150. Absolutely not. That was more of a slap in the face to me than if they would have just said that they don't pay, or they don't reimburse for downtime. If they had just said they don't reimburse for downtime, I'd still be fighting it, but I wouldn't have felt insulted and like a slap in the face. Like, you really think that I can run a business on $150 a day? Come on, man. So, yeah, they absolutely out of the question. I got a feeling there's going to be a fight on that one. But so what I'm hoping, because I don't want to fight, I just don't. I want it to be as smooth as possible. So as I was saying before, what I'm hoping is that they can get the paint on the fender, get the fender all done, painted, you know, paint can be cured, all that good stuff, and then they can put it all together, you know, in a day. And like I said, there's nothing really that difficult to do. And that way I'm only down for a day, and you know, and I can even maybe grab a load after and make up for that downtime, you know, and still have a load that day technically. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll just have to see. And then that way I can run until everything is 100% ready and at the shop, and then I can just take it to the shop and get the stuff put on and then be on my way. I mean, it's an oversimplification of it, but you know what I mean. So this is the biggest problem with the biggest hassle with somebody backing up into your truck and damaging it, is having to deal with the person that's in their corner, because obviously they don't want to pay out any more than they need to. And yes, I am going to upgrade my bumper. If I need to, I'll pay the difference, but it really shouldn't be that much different. But I am going to buy a bumper with the LED lights on the bumper. I really wish there was a little bit more professional courtesy amongst us. We're all running a business. Well, technically the guy I talked to wasn't. He works for them. He's not a business owner, so he may not really understand what goes into running a business at all. But the fact that, like I said, the thing is, he didn't make up that number. The company did. So the company made up that $150 a day number for downtime. Some people, after seeing the video and pictures or whatever, you might even say, well, the damage is not even that bad. Why are you worrying about it? Because it's my truck. Somebody damaged my property. You know, we have the odds stacked against us out here every day. From the fuel prices to the waiting times at the shippers and receivers, the rules with the FMCSA, just a whole plethora of things that are stacked against us. You know, time away from the family. This truck is, I worked my butt off out here for my family and to have a truck that I like to enjoy. This truck is the one thing that I can actually be proud of while I'm out here on the road. And when somebody backs up into it 100% out of my control, then yeah, you're darn straight that I want it to be rectified 100% properly. I want everything done to the best of the ability. Like I said, I don't care if the fender isn't that badly dented. It's being replaced. The bumper, I don't care if it can, some people might say, well, we'll just pull the bumper out. No. The bumper has been, the integrity has been compromised on the bumper. Once metal bends, it's not as strong anymore. Anybody who's spent one day in chemistry or whatever, or science class, they would understand that when metal bends, it becomes more and more malleable and weaker. It won't absorb an impact as well anymore. I want everything done right, everything. But it's just frustrating. I don't, the last thing I need is the company whose driver that ran into me is trying to give me grief over requesting what I would be making on a daily basis had he not hit me. And they want to give me $150 per day, saying that is what a truck costs to rent. You can't rent an SUV for $150 a day anymore. Where am I going to get a sleeper truck for $150 a day? If I was running dedicated freight and I stayed within like a 200 or 300 mile radius, then sure, I could rent like a day cab. But even that would be more than $150 a day. I mean, for crying out loud. I don't know where they got their number from. It's preposterous. It's amazing that they even throw that number out there and they think that somebody's not going to fight back about it. Like I said, it would have been less of a slap in the face if they just simply said they don't pay reimbursement for downtime. I'd have been like, but the fact that they throw such a stupid, baseless number out like that, it really gets under my skin, in case you can't tell. Like I said, that to me is insulting. That to me is like saying my business is only worth $150 a day. That is what they're saying, is that my business is only worth $150 a day. Super, super insulting. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Y'all have a good one out there, and please be safe. If you're backing into spots, get out and look. GOAL. You know, that was what that driver said. He said that he wasn't paying attention to the passenger side of his truck because he was looking at an oversized extension mirror on the truck on the other side of the spot. And he ran into that instead. Well, no, I'm sorry. He was paying attention to that instead and basically just forgot that I was even there. And I do still think that he was trying to dodge the situation. I don't know for sure, but I think that he was just trying to act like he wasn't. And, you know, like when I ran after him and I ran around the front of his truck as he was backing into a spot, like, why didn't he just keep trying to back into the spot right next to me and just get into that spot? Because it wasn't any more difficult than the one that he backed into eventually. So why didn't he just keep trying to back into the spot next to me and then just been right there, and then we could have settled what we needed to settle? But he decided to leave and go several spots down because I wasn't in plane. I was laying down back here in the bed, editing the last video, and so I wasn't visible from the front. So to him, it looked like I was either just passed out in the sleeper, not paying attention, or I was inside the building, which in that case, either way, there was a possibility he could have got away by simply moving a few spots over and then just blending in. But also another driver did see it happen, so that was helpful. And then, yeah, the whole situation with the police not coming out to at least be an official third witness and write down, document it for the insurance purposes, something like that. Again, like I said, I know the police can't do anything legally, but I've had police come out to private property before for the same kind of thing, and they had no problem coming out to at least document it, even though they couldn't write a citation. So I just felt like everything was stacked against me on this one, and it was me that got hit. So it very much frustrated me. But yeah, this is going to be a long video for just me talking for the most part. But guys, be careful out there. I mean, like I said, when you're backing into a spot, be extra diligent, extra vigilant. Yeah, right? Yeah. Anyway, just watch your surroundings. I'll just say that. Watch your surroundings. If you know there's somebody beside you on either side and you aren't sure how close they are, get out and look. There's no shame in getting out and looking. If there's a line of trucks waiting for you to back into a spot, ignore those trucks. Ignore those trucks aren't paying for your mistake if you back into somebody. Ignore those trucks. Don't let the pressure of other drivers, or the, you know, like maybe you might feel embarrassed or something and you think you got it and you can back in, but you really can't. Get out and look. If this could have been so much worse. He could have bumped my steer tire and bent my tie rod, and then the truck would have been dead in the water until I could get the tie rod replaced and then an alignment. You know, it could have been a lot worse. And he could have hit it with a lot more force and did a lot more damage. But anyways, I guess I'm going to get off here with that. Y'all have a good one out there and be safe, and we will talk at y'all later. And remember, keep surviving to thrive out there in spite of these fuel prices. So we'll see y'all in the next video. Hopefully the next video is a little bit more positive than this one. See ya.